Here we come down the room. The first office we're going to go to is for Alexis Necessary, and she is a longtime friend and colleague of mine. We went to JBU together, so she has stuck with me for a long time. Maybe we've stuck with each other.
Yeah, I think that's it.
For a long time. Well. So I'm going to hand off to Alexis now so she can give you a tour.
Okay, here's Dimple. She surprised me with this today, so my office is real, what it looks like. So this is my little station, my area. And then we have a mini fridge which has water and juice boxes, and sometimes it will have yogurt for finger painting and things like that. And we have some lotions and some soaps. And then we have the little dress up station, puppet station. There's board games and Legos and some older kid crafts in there, and some, oh, there's a favorite. I have some Hulk smash gloves that some kids really like. So those are all in there. And the babies, toys, sand. I like to keep my sand tray on the floor because I work with a lot of little ones. And if it needs, it's mobile. We either move it to this table for a little bit older kids, or for when I do family sessions, it sits really nicely on that table as well. So it floats around the room. You can see I have the kitchen. Hope you all aren't dizzy. Some of my sensory things I'll put up there because, again, they're out of the reach for the little kids, but I can bring them down if they request and then supervise that. We have art, and then we have a mermaid board with the fabric that changes, and then behind that I keep like a dry erase board to write on as well with some markers and magnets, and we'll do magnetic poems and things like that. Some seats, and then there's Brownie.
Adult area, so you use this area to incorporate parents into your therapy.
Yes, I mean sometimes it depends on the age of the child. So a lot of my like 12 and over, my teens will come and sit here. Sometimes they sit in the circle chair, sometimes at the couch. Usually the yellow chair is not their pick, and then I'm in this one, and I like that I can roll wherever I need to go. Parents are often asked to sit in these chairs, and it holds them, and they're fine. You can tell today I have a couple of sensory kids, little guys coming in, and so we'll use some of the slime as we talk and play with that, and then there's some things in it to take out. So we do a lot of sensory play in here. It's a big part of the like deregulation and upregulation that I like to work with kids on. What else, Temple? Dollhouse.
What do you think that your primary motivation is when you put together a playroom?
My primary motivation, I guess it's my motivation. When I'm working through a playroom, I'm making sure that when I look at it from the child's eye level. So if I were a child to come in at about 3.5 feet tall, what is that going to look like, and how am I going to see the room? Is it going to seem intimidating? Is it going to seem playful? I want them to feel like they can be free in here, so I don't really want it too tidy, too clean, too perfect. But I want them to be able to find what they need as well. So organized, but not sterile.
And I often talk about the difference between our personalities and how our personalities show up in our playrooms.
They do.
And how that's okay, and that's wonderful, and that's actually kind of a cool thing. But you do, primarily, I think you work with a lot younger clientele than I do, in general.
I see a lot, and part of that's the insurance.
Yeah.
Because I can see them. But yes, I have a lot of 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, low development 5-year-olds that like to come in here. And it's a very open space. I mean, having this much room is a luxury, so this isn't really always the case, but we play a lot of ball. We even kick the ball and soccer and beanbag toss, and so we really get very kinesthetic in here. We have a lot of movement. We throw things at the wall. I love lamps, but I can't do a lot of lamps because they would get broken in here. I guess I didn't really talk about this door. That leads to the master bath, like shower and sink and toilet and things like that. So I do have a larger sand tray in there, and the toilet that some of the kids will choose to use, which is helpful with the little kiddos as well. So,
is there anything else you want to add about putting together a playroom, how you went through that process? I know you and I kind of went through that process together.
Yeah, what did we do? We chose...
We went to that all-day workshop.
I think it was important to me. I know I keep putting it on you. You're welcome. I don't want them just staring at nothing. So, themes, right? We group them by themes.
We are
so you
actually
have like
talking
a
about
nurturance
themes
center.
today
Like
in class.
you have your so this would be my nurturing center, where you have the food and the kitchen, and I have some plates in this little thing because sometimes they get used for other things as well. A lot of my aggressive toys are, again, the Hulk gloves, and then you have swords and shields and things over here. So they're grouped together. I want my babies to glare. There you go. The babies to look safe, and they're by the little house. I like to have 2 houses because a lot of our families live in multiple houses. So I think it's useful for them to be able to show both houses in there. I actually have 3. Yeah, that's about it. I really wanted a lot of variety, but able to work with families in an open space as well. And a lot of books. That was important to me too, because kids like to read at the end of the sessions. I do snack at the end of my sessions, and the kids like to sit and read and have a snack before they go.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, here is another office. This office is actually a small sunroom, and it is shared by Jessica Kitchens, who primarily works out of Fayetteville, and Michelle DeRose, who also primarily works out of, I believe, OGC. And so this is a very small room. I wanted to show it to you to see what you can do. They both work with children, although Jessica here primarily works with adults. She is an RPT as well. Michelle's working on hers. So here we have a little setup where she has some puppets and some her dolls, and she has her filing cabinet in here because that's the most easy place for her. She has this really fabulous tent where people, where kids can go and hide. She has all of her sand tray miniatures right there that are all lined up. She has this fabulous little storage thing, and love that picture there, that she has some things in. So what does she have? She gave me permission to snoop. So she has primarily craft materials, art, explosive. She has some games in there. Brownie quit eating the sand tray toys. We have her little bubbles and her lotion. This looks like her TheraPlay section. She has some some cleaning, you know, all the stuff that we actually have to have in reality to work. She has a little diffuser. This is her little desk area, and it looks like her sand tray is held right here underneath, so she probably pulls it out here in the carpet. So this is yet another way that you can do the play therapy office in a smaller area that is part-time. Okay, here we are in Richard Eller's office, and again, he is a part-time person in actually a very tiny room. So he has things kind of multitasking all over the place. He's got some art stuff that he can bring in and pull out. Here's his degrees and his picture and his little adult area. I love his tree on his wall. He's got a little bench area underneath here, and he's got his rolly chair, very important in a small room, so he can roll it around everywhere. He's got over here a little kitchen with some pots and pans. He's got his house. You know, the house, if you notice, is actually sitting on the sand tray, so he can move it however he wants. He has storage in here, but poor Richard, he actually has our office router in here as well, so he has to put up with us coming in. This is his shelf with his toys on them. He doesn't do as much sand tray as he does just play, so his toys do look a little different. And a little table right here. Back here he's got a little bitty puppet playhouse. So see, another way that in a very small office you can have everything you need. Oh, okay, look, let's peek in his drawers. Oh, they're empty. He hasn't put anything in them. Oh, well, that wasn't fun. So just, oh, now that I made you all dizzy, sorry about that. So just another way that you can have a lot of things in a very small space. Thanks. And here we go. Last but not least, we go into my room. And as you can see, I actually have quite a large room. In this house, it was 2 bedrooms that were kind of with a wall cut out in between. So it's very easy for me to subdivide it. So here I have, well, a little bit of reality for you guys. I have the adult area where I work with families, and my desk. There's the reality that everything that needs to be done, it hasn't been done yet, and reports and everything all laying out. I have some adult chairs. Oh, I do have my pillow there because that's where Brownie likes to sit when he's not, you know, crated up. I have, if you come around, I have a round rug. On this round rug, I do TheraPlay and assessments for attachment between parents. I have my 2 chairs here, and in this area I have, this is very important for me, it's unique to me, I have my tea station. So to me, hot tea is very grounding. So I will actually, all of that is hot tea. In a lot of sessions, my teenagers love it. We come in and we have kind of our own little opening ritual where we make tea and we sit down and just enjoy each other's presence. And then here is my bookshelf. On the bottom I have all my reference from APT and whatnot. And there's the front door. Going out. This is just something that I have as a reminder to me that I have on the door. When it closes, I can see. It says, in this room, we do unrushed and unhurried. Okay, let's walk down to the children's area. So as you walk in, you will see that I have my puppet play. I have my big whiteboard and my calendar and a couple of little pictures there by my son. I have my little egg chair. Oh man, this egg chair is very important. Kids can get into it. They can close it up and they are alone. It also spins, so kids really enjoy that factor. I have a couple of stools that can be stacked that parents can sit on, and we can put, I've had as many of people, I've had a family as large as 8 in here before, so I try to have many different seating options. I have my sand tray. My sand tray is actually Jurassic sand mixed with what is it mixed with? Quicksand. So it's very soft, very unique. I have my big whiteboard back here that actually has interventions still on it that I haven't erased yet. Underneath I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different sand trays that are options, and then I also have a box that has a whole bunch of different balls in it for sensory play, for release therapy play, for just sometimes we go outside and throw a ball around. Lots of different good options. Okay, now we have my sand tray area, and I have a large sand tray collection. This is actually only about 3/4 of it because I have these wonderful little boxes where the toys can go into when they are not in use and I don't have time to pick them up. This is the top of my shelf. I have some things up there. That big brown thing is actually a landing type thing that kids can play with. Down here I have a big gel that's from Batman, but it works. And then I have a whole bunch of Beanie Babies and other little toys that I can also do some genogram work with. I have this little stool right here, which is my favorite. It's actually a storage stool. I sit on that most of the time. I can kick it to wherever I want in the room, and it's actually holding blocks inside of it as well. I have my large blocks underneath, and if you want to know what I do that, I'd be happy to tell you. Here I have another little storage area. I have boxes that are closed up for a reason, because this is glitter. I don't want glitter free roaming. This is books that I give out. Every child who comes in here is an art journal. So those are some blank art journals. This is a lovely box that, besides holding my big Feel It ball, that when I don't have time to pick up, I can throw toys in there, pick them up later. Here, this blue box is my paint. And see, as I was telling you, I have a drawer that's filled with toys that I just haven't had time to pick up yet. And actually, I kind of may stay there. This is just some extra stuff, art supplies. Down here I have my collage box where it's full of craft paper that people can cut out. It's full of magazines. This is the drawer that's full of the children's art journals. They know that they can go in there at any time and they can help themselves and get it out. One thing I was going to show you about my toys is that I do try to get them in a structured manner. So I have my nurturing, I have my people, followed by my more nurturing. I have Star Wars down there. I have this row down here. It's called emotes with all the different emotions. See if you can get really close, and they can, I love those. I can't hardly do a day of therapy without those being used extensively. And then I try to get over here to vehicles, landscape, housing. Then over here I have my more aggressive toys. I have animals, but I also have sharks on the top shelf. They're there so little bitties don't get them as quite as easily. And then over here I have my fantasy. I have dragons and dinosaurs and wizards and and my farm animals at top. Okay, continuing on with the tour. Over here I have more of a nurturing corner. I have a house, I have my dress-up corner, I have a school, another house, a castle. Down here I have my babies and I have all of my puppets. I use quite a bit of puppets in my work. One thing I want you to notice is how many houses or things that can be used as houses I have. I have kids who live in multiple homes, and that is very important for me to be able to let them express that through play. Down there, that thing on there is a balance board. Kids who have trouble focusing, they can get on that and spin and spin and spin. I do have my dog's crate down there. He is currently not in it. And then I have right here, this whole thing is art supplies. I do tend to do a lot of art interventions and expressive type therapies. And here is my table in the center there, and that kind of separates the room, that I have my immediate art supplies, markers, glue, scissors, tape, that can be accessed easily at any time. You'll notice that I don't have a child-size table. I work with all ages, not just little bitties. I work with a lot of elementary and a lot of older children. So I find that little children can readily accommodate to a larger table, but bigger children don't necessarily like to get down to a smaller table. So I have a larger table. And that's it. That's my office. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Thank you.